Have you ever heard of Sushruta? Even if you have, I'm sure you must have known him as an ancient plastic surgeon. It's sad to see him reduced to this. There is much more to Sushruta than just being a plastic surgeon. Imagine thousands of years ago when the world of medicine never even thought about doing switches. This man sitting in Kasi figured out how body anatomy works, invented multiple surgical equipments and saved the lives of thousands of people. Don't you think he deserves to be known much more than just a plastic surgeon? What are the techniques he used? How did he figure out that? Let's see everything in detail. Approximately 2600 years ago, the Punya Bhumi Kashi witnessed a man who was about to change the world of medicine forever. What made him do so? What inspired him to realize the importance of surgery? It was a time when wars and bloodshed were a common thing. While seeing the injured soldiers, he found his inspiration. Modern doctors would practice the incision on dead bodies. Just like that, Sushruta used dead bodies to analyze the anatomy of the human body. He would keep the dead body in water and let it decompose. And as time passed, he would dissect and study the structure of the human bodies layer by layer. He emphasized that a surgeon should learn not only from books but also from practical experience. As per the needs, he himself designed 121 surgical equipments based on the shapes of bird beaks and animal jaws. Some of his tools were so precise that they could dissect a single strand of hair. And he divided the surgical procedure into 3 stages. Number 1, pre-operative preparation. Number 2, the operation itself. And number 3, post-operative care. This included preparing the patient, the tools and even surgical room. The patients were advised to be on fasting or on a light food diet. Alcohol was used for pain relief and even anesthesia, antiseptic and sterile procedures were used by Sushruta. He also described 14 types of bandages and stressed the importance of cleaning the wound before suturing to prevent infections. Look how systematically it was done. This is the culture which has been talking about the best way to sit, the best way to eat and even the best way to breathe. Look at where we are today. Everybody is suffering from some kind of disease. 1 in 5 Indian women suffers from PCOD. Approximately 178,000 new cases are being diagnosed with breast cancer every single year. Almost everyone over 40 years has diabetes now. Even youngsters, fit and healthy people are dying of heart attacks. And the medical inflation is 14%, which is so damn high. We are literally living one medical bill away from going bankrupt. That's why it's a sensible idea to cover ourselves and our family with a health insurance. Policy Bazaar offers health insurance with up to 25% discount starting at just 390 rupees a month. And for most of the policies, no medicals are required. And you can get tax benefits up to 75,000 under Section 80D. Even your existing policies can be renewed with a new insurer. It has health policy for every sort of persons like senior citizens, people with pre-existing diseases like diabetic patients. Everyone can be covered. And it's important to have individual health plan even if you have corporate health insurance as an employee, as corporate policies can be cancelled when you change companies or even when you retire. And Policy Bazaar supports the customer at the time of their claim. They'll reach out to you within 30 minutes of contacting them. If the customer faces any kind of challenge at the time of claim, Policy Bazaar representative will visit the customer at the hospital and resolve the challenges. And NRIs living in foreign countries should consider purchasing a health policy for your parents. Policy Bazaar offers a dedicated team for claim support, providing assistance within 30 minutes so that your family doesn't have any trouble. If you think this is something suitable for you, do check out the link in the description. Do you remember the story of Surpanaka from Ramayana? When her nose was cut off by Lakshmana, King Ravana later had a surgeon reconstruct her nose. We all ignored it as mythology. But Sushruta, in his book Sushruta Samhita, describes a technique that's now named as plastic surgery. The only difference is he did not use any plastic for that. Instead, he used a live flesh from cheek, abdomen, forehead and thighs. He clearly explained how to repair nose and earlobes using the nearby skin. In England, the first article on rhinoplasty appeared in 1794 when a British surgeon Colly Leon Lucas wrote about it. Even he mentioned that this method is already known in India and unfamiliar to the British. After the Third Anglo-Mysore War in 1792, Tipu Sultan did a mass nasal mutilation to the British army soldiers. One Bharathian bullock cart driver employed by the British was also mutilated in that. A year after this incident, a potter reconstructed his nose using the skin from the forehead, and it was all recorded by the British. And we keep saying the British educated us. Education doesn't mean holding a degree certificate. An educated person should be a skilled one. I think we Bharatians were pretty good at it before the arrival of British. So plastic surgery, particularly rhinoplasty, has a long history in India, and Sushruta explained a detailed procedure for this. He also described a form of cataract surgery where a curved needle is used to push the cataract aside, and then the patient's eye will be sprinkled with breast milk and ghee. And let's remember, the practice of cataract surgery was introduced to China only from India as per the Chinese records. Sushruta used quite a few unusual but effective methods for surgical procedure. For example, in cases when there was a blockage in the intestine, he suggested bringing two ends of the intestines together using black large ants to grab tightly with their claws. Then the ants' bodies with their heads tightly attached were cut off, and the intestines were gently put back in place and stitched up. While this may sound cruel to us, it was an effective method back at that time. Not just ants, he also used leeches to treat conditions like boils, tumors, and similar diseases. Leeches were particularly used when surgery was not an option. He described what kind of leeches to use and explained everything in detail. According to Sushruta, there were 12 types of leeches, but he recommended using only 6 of them for medical purposes. He even explained how to catch the leech, where to place them, and how to feed them. Everything is explained in detail. And would you believe if I say even in modern medicine, leeches are used for certain medical procedures? The Food and Drug Administration in the US has approved the use of leeches as a medical device for specific medical conditions. In a study conducted in Germany, leech therapy was found to be beneficial for patients with long-term knee pain. Sushruta recorded all his knowledge in detail in a form of Sanskrit text called Sushruta Samhita, and this is being considered one of the 3 major pillars of Ayurveda. Not just plastic surgery, he did brain surgery, urinary stone removal, cesarean, tumor removal, intestine blockage removal, amputation, and the list goes on. Approximately, he invented 300 surgeries. Imagine some 2600 years ago, this man invented his own tools, analyzed the body anatomy by himself, learned the art of doing surgery, and taught them to hundreds of people. Medical communities all around the world recognize him as a father of surgery. His time period 600 BCE is considered the golden age of surgery. His statue is being installed in the Australian College of Surgeons, but how many of our kids are being taught about him? And don't forget to check out Policy Bazaar. Link is in the description below.